we would record. All right, starting now. All right, so modules and pages, how they relate to one another. So the way that I see modules is this. Modules are like a filing cabinet. So this is like my analogy that helps it make sense in my head. The module is the big filing cabinet. And then everything that goes inside of a module are all of the pages, the discussions, the assignments, the quizzes, the collaboration pieces, the organizers. So looking at your file cabinet that way, you might have page 1, then a discussion post, and then the next page of your lesson, and then an assignment. You know, it depends on what your lesson looks like. So if you think about it like that, modules are like our storage unit for the material that we're going to be giving to our students. And there is a variety of ways that we could set up the material in our modules. And I'm going to show you 2 samples in just a few minutes. So think about that. If modules are throwing you off a bit, think of them like a storage unit. And you can, you know, like a little pod or a file cabinet to store information and organize it in a logical sequence. All right, here are 2 samples. This is one that I created for 4th grade, and this would be in the vein of using Canvas during instruction, not just Zooming and teaching via Zoom, but actually putting the content and the information on the Canvas slides as if it were my whiteboard, as if it were, you know, anything I want students to see during the lesson, I'm putting in Canvas. So this is just one way. So the entire module is my file cabinet. And then I've got my day 1 agenda, my day 1 progression review, my day 1 progression discussion. And then I've got an essential question page, a main idea notes page, and then a small groups page. So it just goes one thing at a time. Anything I want students to do or see or interact with is either a page or a quiz or a discussion within my module filing cabinet for Unit 2, Lesson 3, as it is in this sample. So another sample of a module, this is from Ms. Jerkins. And Ms. Jerkins has used the module structure to build her schedule into her day. Hold on, Miss Evans is popping in. Let me admit her. There she is. All right. So this one looks a little different than the one that I did. So, you know, she has 8:15 to 8:40 morning Zoom. And when they click that link, it takes them to their Zoom meeting. But you can see right here from 9:20 to 9:40 is an ELA Zoom. Now, she is teaching during that time. So what I did in my module was put all of the teaching content on Canvas. Ms. Jerkins is using Canvas to set up her module to structure her day for her 6-year-olds. She teaches 1st grade. My sample was for 4th grade. So you can see how 4th graders might be able to work through a module with you that was set up in the way that I built it. But for 1st grade, this might be way more developmentally appropriate. It's just their schedule. And they click it and it takes them to their Zoom, and that's where Ms. Jerkins does her instruction. So there's different ways that we can set them up. And we'll go through some of that as well. All right, let's go to Canvas. We click this link and fingers crossed it actually takes us where we want to go. It is. All right, let me pause that share and then I will share with you. Well, oh, the internet is moving like a slug. Hold on, guys. Okay, let me stop sharing for a second. It's telling me that the server is too busy to respond.
Do you want to make me a host so that I can do the waiting room?
All right, it's loading. Thank you for your patience.
I think I must say that about 10 times a day.
I was getting ready to say that all of you are
Thank you for your
used to
patience.
that. Yes.
Yep. You're just on the other end of it. It's almost ready. Miss Lynch, will you go ahead and pull up that sample teacher page and student view so that you can share that with them as well? Miss Lynch has a student view sample that she's going to share with us as well to help us figure some stuff out today. Oh, actually, Miss Lynch, that was for tomorrow. So don't even worry about that.
Right.
That's tomorrow's session. I apologize.
I was just gonna follow your directions.
Oh my goodness, the internet. We're just spinning. Okay, well, while we wait for that, does anybody have any specific questions or concerns about modules or pages while we wait for that to load?
Mr. Clark, have we figured out all our issues in regards to the modules and how many and how far in advance we can put out modules?
There should not be a limit on how much time you can put out modules. They suggest that you don't publish modules that are like more than 2 weeks out for your students. But that would be more for like digital academy students that are like doing a self-paced course. We would not need to publish modules unless we are currently teaching them. We don't want our elementary students to accidentally end up in a module they're not supposed to be in. So I would not publish a module in advance. I would do it Monday morning or Sunday, or set it to open on Monday automatically for you. Okay, guys, I'm not really sure if we're going to be able to do this. It's just completely frozen on me.
I have a question.
Yes, who has a question? Yes.
Ms. Domingos. So I was wondering, are you supposed to delete your modules every week and then update them to your current week, or do you just save your modules?
That is entirely a personal preference. So you can either edit the modules that have so that you're not creating new ones, or you can just unpublish the old ones so that you have access to all the material that you created. That could be especially important if you have students that were absent for an extended period of time, so that they can go back and make the work that was there. So I wouldn't recommend deleting them or, you know, covering over them. I would duplicate that structure. If you want to use the same structure week by week by week, would just duplicate your module so that, and then unpublish the old one so that students, you could still publish the portions of it that students needed to access.
Okay. I just didn't know if it would take up a lot of space with all the media and things that were in the module.
Right. So you have approximately 10,000 something bytes of storage in every course that you have. So you should not run out of space. Colleges use Canvas for their entire semester courses. So we as elementary teachers hopefully will not run out of space.
Okay.
And if we do, hopefully it won't be for a couple of months, and then we might go. But you can always archive modules. You don't have to delete them, because you're not want to get rid of the lesson plans that you created, because next year you're going to want to reuse these same structures that you've created. So you don't want to lose it all. and have to recreate it again.
And it's a lot of work.
That would be my suggestion.
It's a lot of work that goes into, creating these modules. And so you'll be able to clone, the course next year. So, yeah, you don't want to delete modules. Yeah. Archive it, if anything.
It's working now.
I think they started deleting themselves like automatically a little bit. I didn't know why. So
they're deleting themselves?
yeah, they were just disappearing.
Isn't that the same thing that was happening with third grade?
Sounds like.
So a couple of third grade teachers were having that issue as well, but you are the only people that I've had this happening to, and I do not have an answer for that.
Is it happening for all of yours or just certain ones?
It happened, it was actually around the same time. It happened to third grade. So, because I went down the hall to ask them what, if they knew how to fix it, and they were like, it just happened to us too. So I kind of stopped. I stopped with making them. And so I just didn't know if it was going to happen often or if it was somewhere lost.
It shouldn't happen at all. It's not supposed to happen at all. So no, that is not something that should be happening. Is it still happening, or do you know?
I haven't continued with making modules. So I've gone alternative route.
All right.
But
I will add your name to my list to follow up with Ms. Williams at the district. But for now, I think I can start sharing again. So we're going to go ahead and move forward, and we'll circle back with any of those issues that you guys are still having. I'll put it on my list and follow up with Ms. Williams. All right, so here is our instructional coaches page. All right, so in order to create a module, my recommendation would be not to start building your module until you know exactly what you want to have in it and have those pieces already created and ready to put in your module, okay? So we don't just want to pick up our filing cabinet and open the drawer and then just shove stuff in it. We want to have a plan for what sequence of material they're going to see or what our schedule is going to look like in order to build that module. So, excuse me, I recommend starting with pages, assignments, and just making a list of anything you want to in that module. So what I did to create my sample was I just took this little piece of paper and then I just jotted down, page 1 is going to be an agenda. Page 2 is going to be learning progression. Page 3 is going to be this. And then that way I could go and create all those pages and create those assignments prior to trying to structure them in a module. Because once you have them already created, the making of your module takes like maybe 5 minutes because you've already done the rest of the legwork. All right, so let's go ahead and start working on a page. So if you go to pages, and we're not going to build a whole page in here, but I'm going to talk to you about the page features and all of the things that you could do on a page. All right, in order to build a new page, you'll go to pages and then view all pages, because the only thing that will initially show up is your home page. So you want to view all pages. All right, and then every page that you create will be on this list. The green check to the right means that that page is published. Gray cancel mark means that it is not published. So if this is something that you're going to want your students to be seeing, like currently, you have to make sure that it's published. If it is not published, they will not be able to see it. All right, so if we're creating a page, we of course go up to plus page or add page and click on that. I think most of you have created pages at this point, so I would rather just talk about all of the things pages can do. All right, so of course you're going to give your page a title, and my recommendation for this is to be very explicit what you call your page so that you can find it easily. So for example, if I want to use this page for Tuesday, September 22nd, I'm going to call it Tuesday, September 22nd, and then whatever I'm putting in it. So if it's my morning work, I'm gonna label it exactly what it is and when I'm gonna use it so that I can really easily find it and link it into my module or link it to a button home page. So those are a couple of tips there. So once you get into this box, this is called your rich content editor. That's what Canvas calls it, the rich content editor. Not poor, it's rich, it's very wealthy, which means that it has a wealth of resources that you can use, or that's how I remember it anyways. So of course you can change your font size. You can change the style of font, whether it's for a paragraph or if you want it to be big and bold for heading. You can bold your font, italicize it, underline it, change the color. You can hide it. You can make it a subscript or a superscript. So if you're writing an exponent, you can always make a superscript. A subscript is less common, especially unless you're working with chemistry, and we do that. Here is where you would link. You can either link to external links, which means something that is outside of Canvas, like Think Central link or a Connected link or Works or BrainPop. A course link is something that is within the Canvas system, okay? And if you click course links, it brings you to this Canvas navigation to where you can choose what you want to link to that button or that word or that image, whatever it is that you're linking to. So if you want a specific page, you would click the accordion next to pages. Your pages will all appear here, and I believe they have to be published in order for them to be linked. So you'll see that everything on this pages list is a published page. So if you're looking for one of your pages and you can't find it, it could be that it's not published, so Canvas is not letting you add it. Okay, so then you would go back to your pages and publish it, and then come back to link it. Okay, you can also get to assignments here that you've created, any quizzes that you've created or imported, any announcements, discussions. You could link to an entire module, and you could, of course, link to pieces from the course navigation. Like you could link them to the syllabus or to files page or the people page. A lot of the syllabus and things like that, not really things we use in elementary school, but those things are there for you if you needed to link to them. All right, what else can we do here? So in the Pages app, there is now a Microsoft Teams meeting. So if you wanted to host some sort of meeting in Microsoft Teams, you could click right there. You'll log into Teams and it will place that meeting link right on your page. Right here is the app section. So right now I have two apps that show up. I have Microsoft Office 365 and I have YouTube, okay? You can click View All and it will show you all of the apps that you can embed onto a page. Commons, favorites. So if I had gone into Canvas Commons and then I mark things as like favorite resources, they will show up right here for me. So I don't have to constantly go search for them. I can find them right there in my favorites. There's a graph builder. Insert math equations onto your page. You can search for and embed Khan Academy lessons and videos directly into your page with this app. And what's nice about using these apps, guys, is that it's not an external link. It embeds it right into your page. So they don't have to go anywhere else. It won't take them out of Canvas. It will open directly inside the system. Microsoft Office 365. So of course that allows you to pull any Word documents, Excel, PowerPoint, all of those things into your page. And of course, Microsoft Teams, public resources, Quizlet, School, SlideShare, YouTube. There's a plethora of apps that you can use in here. So those, again, embed into your page and do not take students out of Canvas, which is really nice. All right, so the next thing, let's see what I have here. Upload image. Okay, we have uploading an image. That would be an image that you have on your machine that you want to upload onto this page. Course images are images that you already have uploaded into Canvas, and you can get to those from there. And then user images are things that you have uploaded and saved in your personal account, not in this course. Okay, it would just be overall in your files in Canvas, not just in this course particularly. The next button is for media. So you can upload and record media. Now, if you click on that, I'm going to show you what that looks like, because this is a tool that you could be using with your students. This is the button that they could select in order to record a video or take a picture of themselves holding up an assignment to their webcam. They could snap a picture of it or record a video of them talking through it quickly and then submit it directly on the assignment page. Yes, Ms. Lynch.
They can also do that if they have a device that is separate from their Chromebook. They can do it from a phone or from a tablet. If they have that availability, I would strongly encourage them to do that because it is much easier on the student and the quality of the picture will be better. They simply log into the Canvas for Students apps, and it's really easy for them to.
Thank you. Yes. All right, so here we would upload anything from that was on our computer already. So audio files, video files. If we were record, we simply click record. And of course we let it load. And we can make sure the microphone is on, make sure the webcam is on, and then we would start recording from there. Okay, so that is the media button. All right, the next one is for documents or files. So you can upload documents and embed them right onto the page. And when a student clicks on that document, it will download it and then open it in the Chrome document viewer, I believe, especially on the Cooks. That's exactly what will happen. So you can upload a document that's on your computer. You can upload or link to a document that's all in your course. Or you can link to a document that's in your Canvas personal user files that's not in your course directly. All right, get out of that. Some more tools. If you click on the 3 menu buttons here, it says more. There is justification, so left, center, and right-hand justification. You can put in bulleted lists or numbered lists. You can control the indentation of a paragraph or a line or sentence. You can clear all of the format off of text. So if you have text that's big and pink and highlighted yellow and you want to get rid of it, if you click clear formatting, it will take all of the text formatting away and all of your text will be 12-point paragraph Times New Roman black. It'll just be plain text again. All right, over here we have tables. Anytime you're putting buttons or images on a page and you want them to be side by side, I suggest putting in a table and then hiding the borders of that table. So let's put in a table that has 5 rows or excuse me, 1 row and 5 columns. So if I want to hide these borders and I don't want to see them, I make sure my table is selected and go up to my table menu and click on Table Properties. Where it says border width, I'm going to change that to 0. And border style, I select hidden, which means that they will not be seen. And then I've never messed with the rest of that. You could if you want the background color of your table to be different or the border color of your table. Like if you want it to have a green border, you could do that as well. All right, so once we save that, now you see all of the outside edges are gone and all we can see are these very faint dotted lines, and those don't show up in student view. Those are just for you to be a guide for where your table is.
You could hide them after you create them.
Right. And Ms. Lynch is saying you might not want to hide the borders till after you've created the table and after you've put in the stuff that you want to be in there. Then you could hide the borders so that it just looks like you've got images sitting side by side instead of it being in a table. All right, so that's one feature that a lot of people were asking about. All right. Going down just a second, so can edit this page role selection. By default, this is always on teachers. If you want students to be able to edit a page, you could change it to teachers and students. If you select anyone, that opens it to the public domain, and other users on Canvas, if you share your page in the Commons, could come and collaborate with you. Some people across schools use that for a different purpose, but I would recommend leaving that alone.
Yeah.
I would not change any of that. So any questions about pages or what you could put on a page or how to structure a page? All right. One more thing that I forgot about is the horizontal line feature. So Ms. Oakley and I have talked about this. So let's say that we are putting in things for Monday and we type all this information and all of our assignments is all right here. And then we want to use the same page for Tuesday and just add to it throughout the week. We can insert a horizontal line across our entire page that breaks that page where we put the line. So it's faint right here, but in student view, it's very clearly a separated section. So then you could come down and start Tuesday below, well, that was not below. Below, why does it keep doing that to me?
You need to have already gone down.
There.
Yeah.
Insert.
And then go back.
Horizontal line. So then we could start typing all of our Tuesday things below the line, insert another one, do our Wednesday section, insert things like that. This would be a way to kind of get your feet wet without having to build a module. You could build a page and just build on that page every day of the week. That way your students can see what they did yesterday relates to what they're doing today, relates to what they do the next day. And then after your whole page or after your week is finished, you can go back and look at everything that you accomplished for the week and then unpublish that page and then duplicate it and revise it for the next week to keep from having to build modules. So this would be just a way to get your feet wet. I know that some of us are using Canvas more than others. So if you just want to stick to a page for now, there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with putting your content on a page. The page is where all of the stuff goes anyway. Okay, the module just is our storage unit if we want to put multiple things together.
Another
Yes,
option would be to do a page per day. Instead of having a long list that they would have to scroll through, you just have a page that is Monday, a page that is Tuesday, and then you can time when they're released so that the Tuesday doesn't show up until Tuesday.
Absolutely, yes. And let's go talk about how we can do that now in the module section. Come on. I know, so slow. There we go. There's your emergency substitute module template. And so this kind of relates to what Ms. Lynch was talking about. If you wanted to create a module that just was, September 21st through September 25th, and then it has 5 pages in it, 1 page for each day of the week. Short, sweet, simple module creation. Create your module, have a page for each day of the week, and then any assignments, any links, any quizzes, anything like that you could put on the page. Instead of having to build it as a module, like I did with that big sample. Okay, so again, there are so many ways that you can create modules and structure modules. So there's no set way, and we're not telling you that you have to do it like this fourth grade sample, or you have to do a page per day, or you have to build your schedule like Ms. Jerkins did. It really is entirely up to your philosophy of teaching and the way that you want to deliver the information and interact with the information with your students. Because what we don't want is just for students to be staring at a computer and not actually interacting with the content that they're learning. That's how we learn best. That's how we engage the cognitive mind and the physical body. We have to let them interact with the material. So if they're just getting on Zoom and they're just listening to us, that is not the most effective use of the Canvas system. So as we start tiptoeing in and putting our content in and putting in some of our learning material, you'll have to figure out which way of structuring modules works best for you. And honestly, I would recommend collaborating with your team so that you all create modules the same way, so that when you share content with one another, that you don't have to make all these changes to it in order to put it in your module. So my recommendation, again, is, and I can't say it enough, make sure you and your team are collaborating on your modules and doing them the same way. That will make your lives so much easier. Now, if there is a couple people doing it one way and a couple people that really feel strongly about doing it a different way, I mean, I'm not going to stop you. I mean, you know, this is the autonomy that you have. So if you don't want to do it the same way as your colleagues, that's fine. But just know that that's going to be a little more work for you on that end. But Ms. Lynn and I will, of course, help you with anything you need. And during our collaborative planning meetings, probably not tomorrow, but probably starting the next one, we will all be actively building the module together in the way that your team has decided that you want it to look. So we'll be creating pages for you and creating assignments and sharing them with you to import into your pages and into your modules. All right. So we have a few more minutes in which to talk about daily routines and procedures in Canvas. But before we move on to that, does anybody have any specific questions or comments about making modules and putting the material in the modules? Because I don't want to move on until you feel like you've gotten your questions answered. Okay, here we go then. All right, so some daily procedures and routines to build in Canvas can look a variety of different ways. So, you know, we have routines and procedures in our day. We have a Brain Smart Start. We have a transition that we do from Brain Smart Start to ELA. We have a routine that structures our ELA block. We might start with whole group and then go to small groups. Bless you. And a lot of times for our digital students, for our hybrid teachers, you know, we have to take attendance by a certain time every day. So we have to find a way to get these digital students online and making themselves known so that we can mark them present. And one way of doing that, let me show you this sample page. And then we're actually going to dive into this sample page for tomorrow in our Canvas session when we talk about Office 365 integration. But I'm going to show you just one example of how you could have your students. This is not what I wanted. Clicked on the wrong page. All right, while that loads, you guys know that it's just as important to build routines online as it is to build routines in your classroom. So as much as you can, find a way to build routines in Canvas. They always start at the same page. Then they know they click on the Monday button or the daily morning work button, you know, and then they go back to the home page and then it's time for Zoom. and they need to know where to find it. They need to know what to do with it when they get to it. And what that takes is explicit modeling. And I know that you guys have been doing that with all of your routines and procedures, but if you haven't started doing that with Canvas, I really would recommend going ahead and getting a jump on that. Just, you know, sharing your screen, walking them through it. This is where we're going to go. This is what it's going to look like. This is what we're going to do with it. And if you're scared to start doing things like that, I'm going to be transparent with and say that it's never going to feel better until you start doing it. It's never going to feel better until you get in there and you start doing it. You make mistakes, you get messy, and then you figure it out, because that's the learning process, that we fail forward. And mistake is an opportunity to learn. And you guys know that better than anyone as educators. So here's the sample page. This is what a lot of yours look like. You have your about section, your schedule, your newsletter. Those don't actually do anything. Don't think I went too crazy. And then there's a button for morning work and check-in. So if every day your students know I log into Canvas at 8:15 and I immediately go to the morning work section and I got to check in with my teacher, okay? And that's not Zoom. I'll show you what this one in specific does. So morning work and check-in. This takes us to a assignment. I promise it goes somewhere. Oh, we got the sad face again. Okay, that's okay. I'll tell you what it says. So, and we're gonna show you more details about this tomorrow. We've actually done an Office 365 assignment as this morning work so that we could use it to show you this routine and also then to talk about Office 365 tomorrow. Two birds with one stone. Oh, goodness. So what it does is there's a section for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and it's a PowerPoint document that we've linked as through the assignment feature as an Office Cloud assignment. When students open the PowerPoint, there is a slide for each day and an activity for them to complete. Here it comes. And when students open it, Canvas and OneDrive talk to each other so that OneDrive copies that document into the student's OneDrive so that they can edit it and resubmit it to you. Oh, goodness. I don't know that I'm going to be able to show it to you, but I promise that's what it does. And all it was Monday. It was like, make it Monday. Make a list of 5 things that are red. So it was like a first grade journal prompt. Make a list of 5 things that are red and illustrate each one. So that's what they would do in that PowerPoint. And once they finish that, you know, then your students know, okay, I've done my check-in. My teacher will know that I'm here, that I am present, and I will be marked present. And I don't have to get back on and do anything else until the next, you know, part of my day or when my next Zoom session is. I'm gonna try to keep reloading it to see if we can get it to work.
The biggest benefit in doing it this way is that students then are not required to download, save, and any of that stuff. It opens automatically. They do their work. They hit a submit button in the top right-hand corner, and then they're done. There's no download, save to my OneDrive. Then they have to go and find it in their OneDrive, and then they have to submit it to you by uploading. It does everything automatically whenever you link them this way.
Thank you, Ms. Lynch. Yeah, and that is kind of a great segue into tomorrow's Canvas session, where we're going to talk about Office 365 integration and how we can navigate the use of our ConnectEd platform and our Think Central platform with Canvas, since they don't talk to each other and since they don't really have full integration or any integration. So we're going to go into detail about that tomorrow, and it is very nice because there is a submit button just right there in the document. They don't have to do anything but open it, fit, and turn it in. So that keeps us from having to get photos and webcams on and things like that. So as you guys are working to move forward with creating pages and creating modules or organizing your pages into modules, remember that simple is best, yeah? Because, I mean, all of you that are in here right now teach babies, kindergarten through second grade. You know, they don't need a bunch of stuff on the page because that's just going to confuse them. So keep it simple, but keep it meaningful. The most important things that students need to know or do should be what you put in Canvas. And then as we get to be more proficient and build our prowess with the system, we can start to, you know, recreate worksheets as quizzes and recreate documents that we can make assignments out of and become truly digital teachers, because it is an art form all on its own of the education field. It's not like teaching in the classroom. It's similar, but it's not quite the same. So again, I urge you to collaborate with your team and make sure that you guys are on the same page or a similar page about modules, or, you know, a page per day, et cetera, because if one of you is handling one subject and one is handling the other, you guys make sure those things look similar from week to week so that your students don't get thrown off their routines. So the more that you can collaborate and the more that you can work together on getting these built, the easier that it will be for you and the more meaningful it will be for your students. Does anybody have any comments or questions or other things about Canvas that you want us to make note of to cover in a different session? All right. Well, that is all we have for you. We are like right on time, so this was great. MicroPD. I hope that it was meaningful for you. It was very basic. I hope that